And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mike Prince Show. It is that time of year again. Prairie View meeting Grambling in Dallas, Texas for the annual State Fair Classic. We are fortunate to have on the line with us the mastermind behind the State Fair Classic, Mr. Al Wash. How you doing today, Al?
I'm doing great, Mike. How about yourself?
Man, I dare not complain. It's another day that was not promised to me, so I'm going to take full advantage of it, sir.
All right. Well, that's the best thing to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And speaking of taking full advantage, you are, as we call, the promoter for this State Fair Labor Day Classic. But a lot of people are not aware that you got some other games that you promote. Before we get into that State Fair Classic, bring the people up to speed of other games that you're involved in, sir.
Well, I finished the other game. One was at the game in Canton, Ohio. That was with Winston-Salem and Central State. And Central State won that game. That was with the NFL Hall of Fame Classic. And, so that was a great game, great attendance. And then we had a high school double hitter we call the I-20 Classic. We had Duncanville play a team out of Orlando, Florida, and we had DeSoto play a team out of Baltimore, Maryland. So that was Labor Day weekend. Both of them was Labor Day weekend. But now we're into the one that our annual game that we've been doing over 4 decades, and it's our baby. So it's doing well for its ticket sales, promotions, and look like we're gonna have record-setting attendance. Like I told the group yesterday, Grambling alumni, I said, I know I say that every year, but this is the year, y'all. This is a year that you hear things and you think it's gonna do well, and the weather mess up or something always happens to slow us down, but I don't think nothing's going to happen now to slow us down.
Okay, and normally that game was played between 3 and 4 o'clock, and you move it back to 6 o'clock. Some people were saying that part of the lack of some attendance on certain years because the sun would be so hot. Do you buy into that, or are you okay with moving it to 6 o'clock? Because I can remember the time when it used to be at 7:30 kickoff.
Well, that's true, and but I do agree with the 6 o'clock. The climate change changed tremendously. I remember the time we used to go buy little light jackets, sweaters and things to wear because it was going to be cold out there, at night when it was 7:30. But now it's still warm. So, yeah, we did move it back for a couple of different reasons, and that was the main reason was due to the sun. The visiting side of the field, those people would have to sit in the sun, but the press box side is always shady. So you have 40,000 people try to get on underneath the shades, But now at 6 o'clock, come about 6:37, sun is gone, and it'll be cool down. It's supposed to be in the mid-80s, still a little warm, but, that's better than what we've been doing and being in that 100 degrees.
Yes, sir, no doubt about it. Get, as they say, baking in the sun. And maybe that's why some of the animosity would go on throughout some of these years, people trying to get to that shade and going, no, these are my seats. But, you make those adjustments and it's real good. Now, Al, I don't have to tell you, HBCUs are known for their classic games, and this happens to be one of the upper-tier classic games. They can say what they want to say about all the other classics, but this Grambling Prairie View Classic game, even though for years it was lopsided, Grambling was always on top, and then it seemed of late Prairie View has now been on top, but it's always had that consistent drawing power. Why is that?
Well, because when we took on this game, you're correct. Everybody knew Grambling was going to beat Prairie View 40, 50 to nothing, and they would win every year with Eddie Robinson days. But now it has gotten competitive, and when Henry Frazier came in and he turned the program around, and they won a championship, and now the past 4 years, Prairie View has beat Grambling for the past 4 years. So it's a much competitive game now. So I don't know but I think, though, with what we're doing promotional-wise, we changed the time of the game to 6 o'clock. We changed up the marketing strategy. We got better talent. Ashanti performed at 4 o'clock. And we have a New Orleans Preservation Jazz Band is a post-game concert on the Chevy stage. So, you got 2 major concerts. You have a game, you got a halftime show. And, you got a lot you got the world's largest fair and looking at where we selling tickets. These tickets not just being sold in Texas. I got tickets sold in Alaska, in Australia, in Florida, the Hampton, Virginia, all over the country. We selling tickets, and the main thing that we've done with this game is we call it an event. It's not about the game; it's an event, and we marketing it as an event. People come watch the game, but you're in the world's largest fair. You got Ashanti, and one ticket, you can come there at 10 o'clock in the morning, and you can be there at 12 midnight, and you never see the whole fair. You'll never be able to cover the fair. You got to go to the fair 4-5 days to cover the whole fair. This is the world's largest fair. It's not a little bitty county fair.
Not the little dewdrop-in tents and the rickety rides and everything. This is the legit deal.
Yep.
Okay. Now, of course, we're in what we call this new era, and everybody is streaming, everybody's videoing, everybody's got something to say. And I know for a long time you were saying until you could feel every seat at the Cotton Bowl, you were not interested in doing any type of TV presentation. Radio was fine because that's a whole different element, but TV presentation. What has changed your approach, if it has or has not changed, for videoing this event, or allowing it to be broadcast?
Well, I try anything once. Everybody try to tell me, well, it's not going to hurt your attendance. It's not going to do this. It's like when I went to the Bayou Classic, I used to go every year. The first year it came on TV, we were all down at the Bayou Classic, and everybody, it was about 20 of us. We had tickets to the game. We started partying in the room, and everybody just said, man, I don't feel like walking down there. We watch it on TV. And we was partying and had drinks and cocktails and all the food in the room. And we partied hard in the hotel room, and we had a great time. And that was the last time I've been, So I try anything once. But the thing about this year's game, Prairie View is coming here. I think they were tied for first place right now. They 2-0, in the conference. And if they beat Grambling and they got Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and I think Southern to go, I mean, they're in the hunt for the winning the West Division. I think it's the West, the East, and the West.
Yes, sir, it's the West. They are the defending Western Division champions. Last year, Dooley was there. He's now at Southern, of course. So, there are a lot of things at stake for this game. Now, you say you'll try anything once. There's also a narrative floating around now that these classic games are hurting HBCUs. I don't agree with that statement, but when you hear that, how do you interpret that, being a promoter yourself of these classic games?
Well, I haven't heard that classic game is hurting HBCU. I think it's helping HBCU. And not that I agree with everything Dion said, and he's saying that they could be making more money without promoters, but I disagree with that. Where were they, the Deons, 40 years ago when we started the game? We had an $8 ticket. We only were drawing 20,000 people. I mean, everything has to grow in stages. But now when you get up there and 40 years later, hey, you come with Dion saying what he's saying and trying to get the people to buy into it and believe it because he's Dion, which, I think a lot of things that he has done has helped HBCUs and get corporate people more, to be able to look at it, come on board to be corporate sponsors. And, he's getting a lot of attention on TV and that's been a plus, I think, for everybody. But buying into it and saying it's hurting HBCUs, how could it be? We put more people in front of you so more people can see it. And, as far as the dollars, the school is, and I can only speak for my game, the school takes home 76% of the profit. Now, Grambling, everybody think the Bayou Classic is their biggest payday. But after they pay for all the expenses of what they take into the Bayou Classic and staying there for 4 or 5 days, the band, the hotel jacks up the prices on them in New Orleans, the entourage, the football team, you have parades, and, you got a lot of costs that, when you come home with the net cost, is not as great as what you come home with in Dallas.
Wow. So let the numbers speak for themselves, right?
That's correct. And
yes,
that's
sir.
What the true thoughts and the true, like you said, the number speaks for itself. Nobody's ever talked about what Deion's situation is, but I don't know. I'm not party of his contract, but I hear that naturally he gets a piece of the gate if he wants to play more games at home. Can nobody play no 5, 6 games at home, HBCUs? They're not going to support 5 or 6 games. They're not going to turn around. You might have a better chance in a Jackson, Mississippi, but take Grambling or take Prairie View. Ain't nothing to do but go to a game and hang out a while, and that's it. You go to Grambling, ain't nothing in Grambling for you to do. So, there's no big restaurants. The hotels are going to be gone. You got to drive in there. You got to drive out of there. So, I just, and that's why Eddie Robinson said we can only play 3 home games a year, which is always homecoming and 2 more games. That was it. That's all he said we need to play at home. And it's, now they got a new AD, and I don't know what they thoughts are about it, but you can't make it in a Grambling playing more than 3 home games. It will not work. We tried it so many times, and these younger guys and new guys come in, they got to learn themselves. They got to try it their way and see if they can make it work. If they can, my hat's off to them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I think it is a balancing act because people, I say, are trying to make a name for themselves instead of seeing what's been working, fine-tune it to the maximum of its capability, and roll from there. But it's like, as the old folk used to say, trying to throw good money after bad money. You'll waste more money trying to start something new than to just improve what's already been in existence.
Well, and that's what I would think too. And we work hard here in Dallas to make the game what it is today. And sometimes I think the schools, sometimes we feel sometimes that they don't work with us. They could do more and help us marketing, send literatures to the alumni, and keep pumping it up and have the attendance from out of town. We don't get that type of support now. I have to call a name, and when Ashley Robinson was there, I don't know how he got the ears of the people that was handling marketing, but they did a better job then than what they're doing now. And I don't think it's no fault of the new AD or no fault of anyone. I just think that nobody has gotten together with the team of people that can make a difference. And if they can work with us and do things with us, it'll be a great deal of success financially, better than what we're doing now. This is going to be the best payday that Prairie View and Grambling ever took home this year.
Well, I heard you talk earlier about you had to change up some of your marketing strategies. Are you at liberty to go into that, or is that something you have to keep in the wash circle?
No. I mean, when we changed up, first thing we did, we built the event. We got Asante. The type of talent we have been getting in the past was funk bands and Mars Band of Times, and we'll reach out to a young band, but we've had Asante once before, but she wasn't the Asante that she is today. We've had Destiny Child and Christina Aguilera perform, and of course it wasn't a Beyonce as she is today, but it was still a big name. Destiny Child at that time and Christina Aguilera. I mean, you build your base, you build the event, and then marketing wise, social media is so big. Now I'm old school, Now I still believe in radio. Everybody in my staff said, "Hey, it's a social media concept," and we did a big campaign on social media. A big campaign. I've never done it before. I've done buses, I've done billboards, I've done Turner radio, but I cut those dollars down. I took out the buses, I took out the billboards, and I just shifted the dollars around. I didn't spend more money. I just realigned the dollars and went with the ears and the people of this younger generation of what they saying. Even my son's in college, and he said, "Dad, this is what you need to do," and everybody agreed to it, and looked like it seemed to be working for us in a big way. Now I think we have a lot of other factors, like I mentioned earlier, the time of the game, the two new coaches, and Asante. I think all that plays a part. You got to build a base before you go out here and say, "Oh, I'm just going to change this and see what happens." We didn't do
Right. Well, I know when you talked about the coaches and what made the SWAC and HBCU sports in general unique, there was personalities, and it seems as if those personalities have been somewhat dummy down, if you allow me to say it that way, to be more corporate-like, and I do understand that. But that was part of the uniqueness and the draw of going to an HBCU event, as you mentioned.
Oh, that's true, and I mean, it's just like homecoming. When you go to homecoming, you got all those people. You can have 50,000 people, and you can't get them all in the stadium. So they down and they're having a great time, and then it's the event for them. I didn't go to Prairie View, but I go to homecoming all the time. I'll be at the homecoming this year.
Okay, October 29th, sir. So I see your face in the place, huh?
Yes, I'll be right up in there.
So you hanging out at the tailgaters, or you hanging in the suites?
I hang out at tailgaters. The sweet people, I can see them anytime. I hang out. I'm not gonna say with the real people, but I like to enjoy myself and have a great time. And if I do something that's not supposed to be done, I don't have to be apologizing for it. If I have too much to drink and say the wrong thing, I'm in the right place to do it. I didn't tailgate.
I know that's right, Al. I know that's right, man. Look, you got to let your hair down sometime, right?
And I'll be at Blinn Junior College before I come over to Prairie View. We're having a reunion at Blinn for that same weekend. And I don't know how we end up, when you talk about things that is hurting HBCU, why would Texas Southern and Prairie View homecoming be set on the same day, the same weekend?
Yeah.
I would attend maybe Texas Southern. My nephew graduated from Texas Southern. He's going to be at Texas Southern homecoming. But if it wasn't the same day, he'll make Texas Southern and he'll be at Prairie View. Those are some of the things that you have to look at when you're making your schedule and be able to know what's going on around you, you know. And we knew about the Texas Southern and Southern game, you know. I mean, we didn't, you know, we just did some marketing and let the people hear that this other game is coming to town. You know, it was doing the fair, but they went out in Arlington, and it just was not the right place to be.
Right, I understand. Well, it's about, as you say, communication, and I think sometimes people are communicating but not with the right people, and then it's an afterthought. Oh, I wasn't thinking about it in that manner. But things get better, and as I'm hearing to you right now, Al, as far as you're concerned with the games that you're involved in, there's no slowing down or the changing of the guard with these classic games as you can see in the future.
Oh no, not the ones I'm involved with. I think our game, we've always been in the top 5 in attendance, always. You know, and so that tells me if we stay in the top 5 of attendance, we're doing something right.
Right. Well, it's all about, as you said, being unique and being able to adjust to the modern times. And when you say old school, I'm like you, Brother Al. I'm audio, radio myself, and they tell me, you know, stick a video camera in your face every now and then, you know, to help. I said, people don't need to see me, they just need to hear me, Brother Al. And so when we broadcast the games, when we're doing interviews such as this, what they going to be looking at me for? I'd rather them listen to you and hear what you got to say to help us all get a little bit better and wiser on our journeys when it comes to these games.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
Yes, sir. Well, as you stated, this is going to be a big payday for both Prairie View and Grambling, and one of the top 5 in attendance. You say you got well, you don't say, but it's proven that you have the Midas touch to keep this thing rolling right along. What do you have to say to those that will be listening to this right now who are teeter-totter on should they or should they not come to the event, and sell them on why they should, Al?
Well, you know, and I might just, everybody say, oh, he's just being selfish now. The one thing that you have to do, like I said, the way my deal is structured, the school take home the bulk of the money. And if you want to be supportive, where else can you go for $30, see 2 concerts, the world's largest fair, a great HBCU game, a super halftime show, and be there all day long to be entertained as something from 8 to 80 you can see that would entertain you. So, you know, where else can you get that for the price of a ticket? So I want to say that if you want to be supportive, buy a ticket. Don't go up to the university and try to buy a student ticket to save you $10 or so. Buy a ticket. Even if you don't come, give it away to someone. Give it to a student or something, you know. And they might say, oh, well, he's crazy, you know. But no, I'm not crazy. I'm just saying support the universities and stop complaining, you know. Don't sit there and complain about things that you don't know and listen to other people saying things. Everybody has an opinion. Have your own opinion and make your own decisions. You know, I don't agree with everything you do. You don't agree with everything that I do. And that's with everybody. But I do support, you know. I mean, even at Blend, you know, we're putting together an endowment and setting up and making our rules and regulations of how we want the kids to get that endowment and scholarship, you know. And that's coming from all the black people that went to Blend 50 years ago. You know, we started the Ebony Club at Blend Junior College, you know, so we're saying that we're going to make it under the Ebony Club and just, you know, leave something there for someone, you know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, it's a great honor to say that I know Al Wash, and we've been in the, dealing in the circles and promoting this game for a little while now. And I appreciate you making yourself available to come and share with our listeners, man, the things that are being done behind the scenes. So there's a greater appreciation and reason to promote. Now, some people are not familiar. All they think is the universities where they can get their tickets. Can you quickly share how a person could get a ticket throughout the various locations?
Well, I mean, like in Dallas, we have Williams Chicken. We got 51 Williams Chicken throughout Dallas and Fort Worth. So we physically selling tickets there. We have some other restaurants. The Grambling and PV alumni are selling tickets, and in Houston, we got Ticketmaster, or you can get them on campus. They're at Prairie View. They just took it off the internet this weekend because they don't have time to mail them out to you, but you still can go by and pick up your tickets. They're on campus, and so there's tons of places. Ticketmaster, you can buy your tickets. Even if you go to ALWE and look at my website, if you want to buy a ticket, we'll mail it to you. We can get it to you before Thursday, but come Wednesday we're gonna cut it off, because it'll get stuck in the mail. Mail is slower than it's ever been before, so we still working with people to make it happen.
Okay. Well, Al, man, I appreciate you so much. I'm not going to put you on the spot on who you think's going to win, but me being a PV graduate, I know who I would like to see win, but let's hope that it's a very competitive game, entertaining game, and an entertaining day of events going on at the State Fair Classic. He is Al Wash, promoter of the State Fair Classic for over 40 years now. And all I can say is thank you, Al, for all that you do, what you are doing, and what you're going to do in the future. And it's just been a blessing to have you on board with us today, man.
Okay, I want to thank you for having me, and you won't be putting me on the spot. I said we win if the attendance is there.
Very well stated. Sounded like a true promoter.
That's how I determine on what's winning, and then I want to set a record. Eddie Robinson thing was always, I want to fill the stadium up. We almost did it one year when the stadium held 72,000 pre-Katrina. We did 64,000. Now they enlarged the stadium to 94,000, so we can still do 60,000 and still look half empty. But we're going to do our best this year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He is Al Wash, promoter of the State Fair Classic. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at The Mike Prince Show. Subscribe to the YouTube channel with the Open Mic Broadcast Network and visit the website, obnradio.com. And until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.